Greetings, Internet. Welcome to Aaron Plays, and I hope you're doing fantastically well. This will be episode 4 of my playthrough of the first scenario from Enemy Action Ardennes. First scenario is literally just the first turn of the actual game. So it's the 16th of December, 1944. In the previous, and this is the third impulse I'll be doing. In the last two episodes, I've done one Allied impulse and one German impulse. Will I get to do any more in this one? It depends how much actual rule reading I've got to do. As I again mentioned before, I have read the rules twice through, but this is a little bit of a brain burner, getting the concept of the rules actually onto the map and learning how the AI performs. That is the hardest part. What I want to do is fairly straightforward because I don't have that many options as the Allies in the first turn. But what the Germans do is a completely different ballgame. So anyway, without any furthers, let's go down the map and see what is actually going on. Just as a quick roundup of what's happened in the game, the way it was set up, the Germans had a set up cards to begin the actual offensive. Then I got to play my first action, or first impulse, where I did some movement of units up and around here in this area, the Fifth Corps. Then the Germans did an attack in this area here and took out a dispersed Allied unit. And then I brought in some reinforcements because I was getting a little bit concerned about how close to Bastogne these guys were, which is 5 victory points. The Germans need 6 victory points to win. So got to stop them. And each one of these towns is worth a victory point as well. So I've got to get something into Wiltz as well, and so on. Then in their second impulse of the game, the Germans attacked here, and it completely, well, it did nothing. They lost a step. It didn't work. The chit draws were very beneficial for me, yay, and not so good for them, yay, yay. So yeah, that went quite well. So we're about to do my third impulse, i.e., my third card play, and these are the options I've got. Let me bring up the Allied hand. There we go. I've got 4 cards I can draw and play. Well, I can play any one of those 4, because the last card I played was a 8 core card. You can't play two. You can't activate the same units twice in consecutive impulses. So as I haven't got an 8th core, that means I am free to play any one of those. As long as, again, I don't, one of them is like activate a single unit. I can't activate one of the units that, again, activated last time, but I didn't activate any units last time because I just brought on some reserves. So, which of those 4 cards should I play? I'm actually going to play this one. I'd like to keep these 3 because there's not many units on the board for any of those 3 cards. I could deploy 2 your reserves for this one, but I think I've got more pressing problems still, even though I brought in this armor. This here is still quite frightening. So, there's a victory point sitting there. There's a victory point sitting there. It's getting a bit tenuous. So I'm going to play, well, I'll actually bring the card onto the board, shall I? This one. Okay, so I'm not going to activate any units. I'm going to play the event engineers. And notice the date on it is 16 to 21st, so I can play it. What I can't do is I can't play that as a blow bridges because that's a restriction of the allies not being prepared. However, I can play it as a roadblock, which allows me to place 2 roadblock markers, each one in a non-clear road hex in allied supply, not adjacent to a German unit. So let me get the roadblock markers up. Hello, what do you look like? Hopefully you'll look like a roadblock. Is that a roadblock? That looks like a roadblock. Yeah, yeah. Okay, so I'm thinking of placing one there and one there. Is that good? Or should I place one there and one there? Because that armored unit could go there and then there. if I place it there, they can't enter the roadblock, and it doesn't stop him moving there. But if he moves to there, it's connected to the road. I think that would stop him. If he moves into that hex, that would stop him. And if he moves into that hex, that won't stop him, but moving into there, no, that's not connected by road. It's all about being connected to road. But I think that's probably the best place for them. So I'm going to place those two roadblocks there. Elsewhere along the front, there's not really a road. I mean, I've got units in the way of other roads. So, yeah, a little concerned about here where the bridge is blown. So that would be, if he moves across to there, that's as far as he can go. So, yeah, okay. That is that's my impulse, and that's it. That's literally all I do. Um, in a sequence, in the allied impulse, play one card. After playing a card or passing, draw cards from. So yeah, I've got to draw a card, and that is my impulse done. So let me bring up the allied card display. There's only one card here, so this is the last. This is the last card. Yeah. Oops. Um, Send the card to command stack. I've got to suppose I should take him and send to the. I say I'm learning the module as well. Place card to the discard pile. Bring that back up. Why did that go into the discard pile? Or did it? Supplemental discard. Oh, I see. Yeah, those are primary discards with a primary. Okay. All right. Yeah, fair enough. So, that's a bit worrying that I'm actually down to my last four cards. So what is this one? Okay, so I've got two for the airborne core. Okay. On to the German impulse then. So let's get the German hand up. German decks of German card deck display. We draw two cards. If either of them were marked primary, they'd automatically go into the command card, neither of them are. Then we look at the command number. So that's got card number two. Both have got two. Ah, so what happens now? Okay, I think it's the lowest numbered. All right. Two cards from the draw pile, drag from here, place the card into the command box. Okay, I just want to verify. I think if they've got both the same command number and neither of them are primary, I think it's the lowest card number that goes into there, but I'll double check that. Then lower ID numbers. So that card goes into there because it's card 50. That card goes into there because that's card 59. What's this one here? Is it last turn's cards, which I didn't put in the proper place? Okay, so following the sequence then, that's the two cards in the correct order. Lowest numbered it goes in the command card. Um, then lower ID. Okay. Then check the support. If the supporting card shows a command event, immediately implement the event and then discard. There is event, it says bridge engineers. Otherwise, the supporting card remains face up for possible later use. So that card, the bridge engineers, says repair a destroyed bridge or build a new bridge across the river hex side within one hex of a supplied German unit. Both hexes bordering the hex side must be free of ally control, and at least one of those hexes must be in German supply. German units negate Allied zones of control in the hex they occupy for this purpose. So there are three blind bridges. One here, and one here. Okay. Now, that one definitely can't be repaired because there's an Allied unit on the other side of it. This one, though, I mean, there's a Allied zone of control. Both hexes bordering the hex side must be free of Allied control, and at least one of those hexes must be in German supply. So even that one can't be rebuilt, but this one could be. German units negate Allied zone of control in the hex they occupy for this purpose. So that is the only one that can be repaired. To determine where a repair or construction occurs, first check for destroyed bridges. If a bridge is eligible, in this case, this one, repair it. If more than one, repair the bridge bordering the hex with the highest HV. HV. It's something to do with those numbers in the hexes, isn't it? Then the westernmost. Well, there is only one eligible bridge, and that's that one there. So let's remove the German unit. Oh, my bad. That's the hex side. Ah, right. Point. It's not in the hex. It's the hex side that's important. Right. Let me just double check all that. Okay, so neither of those three bridges are eligible at the present moment because of the location of Allied units. If this German unit here had been in this hex, then they could have repaired that bridge. But there's no one negating that unit's zone of control. Okay. The second point regarding bridge building, um, for check for unbridged river hex size eligible for bridge building, but it's meant to be to supply German units that are out of supply. None of those occur available either, and if no hex size are eligible for a bridge repair or construction, the event is not implemented. So in other words, that card is still available for its other functions such as combat, etc. Let me just bring up the card. Oh, if I close the card box, German card display. There we go. So that event is too early. They need to be a little bit more forward than that. So we're going back to this card to see what actually activates, because we don't look at the G because that's when you're playing German solo. We're not playing replacements yet because that says from turn 20, game turn 20, or sorry, the 20th. So we're activating all units in the core. Let's have a look at LV111. So that's 55, 6, 7, 58. 58th core. And this is 58th Corps, 116th Panzer Division. I think there's a few units of the 116th. Yeah, you can see there's three, and they are elite. And there's a couple. Is it an infantry division? I think it is, but it's weakened. I'm not sure because there's no actual divisional or regimental markers there. And this is just an armored brigade, I suppose. One step. Okay, though its combat value is not bracketed, so it's still an eligible combat unit. The worrying thing is there's not much here in front of them, is there? So, however, this unit is exerting a zone of control here and here. So there's not going to be much German movement from there to there. This unit, however, is not exerting control because it is, if I over there, it's got one step and it's bracketed combat value and it's dispersed. So there's no zone of control here. So where are the Germans going to go? Okay, so the first thing to do is remove roadblock markers adjacent to active German units. There are none. Cool. Relocate army objective marker if required. Okay, so this is the 5th Panzer Army. Lost my mouse. Where is he? Where's my mouse going? There he is. That's their marker. If a German unit is proximate to or within 2 hexes of the active, right, so what does the proximate again mean? All right, can a German unit move into that hex, that from the active, into that hex? No, because that is, what kind of ground is that? That is broken. That'll cost mech 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. He's only got 5 movement points, so they're not proximate to that nor within 2 hexes. So that army marker we don't test to see if it moves. If it hadn't been placed already, then we would have seen if it's where it would have been placed, but it doesn't move. So that's the second step. Now we move the active units. Move active units on following those procedures. If you've watched the previous two videos, you know that there are a total of 13 movement methods. I'm not going to go into detail breaking down the movement methods like I did in the last video, but I did do in the first moving video. I'm now going to focus on where these units will move and then move them. Okay, so we're going to go through these movement methods one at a time. So for methods 1 to 9, check all eligible units for one method before proceeding to the next. Okay, so method 1, no. Method 2 is close. Method 2 is move to a hex close to a unit's army objective. Sorry, this one does apply. Right. Move to a hex closer to a unit's army objective and adjacent to an allied VP hex. Right. So for this unit here, he could move to, remember there's no zone of control from this one. So that would be, actually, no, it costs you 1 movement point to leave a zone of control. So that would be 3, 4, no, 3, 4, 5. Ah, it's that extra movement point for leaving a zone of control. Ah, I almost got carried away there. I forgot about the extra movement point that this unit here must pay to leave that zone of control. Otherwise, it would have been 2, 4, 5, or 2, 3, 4, 5. You could move to either one of those two. But because that actually costs him 3, 4, 5, he doesn't move adjacent to VP. So that movement method doesn't apply. Okay, so we were close on movement method 2. On movement method 3, which it says cause surround. Move non-bracketed units to a hex that would cause unsurrounded allied units to be surrounded. If already causing surround, blah, 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 blah. All right, so the only unit that is applicable to, because this unit can't move into here, because it's already in zone of control. You can't move from a zone of control to a zone of control. But this unit could cause surround on that unit, because he could go 3 to there, 4, 5 to there, which would then, oh, that, no, because wait a minute, wait. Half asleep, Mr. Sibley. Right. No, it wouldn't cause surround, would it? There'd have to be a German unit here as well. Ah, all right. So ignore that one too. Okay, so I've gone through all the movement methods 1 to 9. So we're now going to move into method 10, where we actually test for each unit all the way through, starting with it says ascending. So we start with the lowest numbered unit, which is this unit here. Okay. Movement method 10, follow movement arrows. Move if able to spend full movement allowance following arrows. He will be able to, with preference given to primary arrows, avoid ending move adjacent to allied unit if possible. Okay, so with that, I think we're good. Okay, this is that arrow there is a primary arrow, that one there is a secondary arrow. So he can move from there to there with 3 movement points. He can then move to there, which is a clear hex. I'll just double check it is 1 for 1, so that's 4. And then where's the arrow from there? Goes up the road, so he's on his way to Vielsalm for 5. So that's him done. Okay, cool. Finally got there. Woo! Right. So then we check the next lowest unit, which is we have O2 in that hex there. Let's have a look where. Right. His movement arrow tells him to go there, but he can't move his full movement allowance. He's got movement allowance of 5, that's only 1. And movement method 10, follow movement arrows, move if able to spend full movement allowance. He can't spend his full movement, so we don't use 10 for him. 11, move closer to army objective. All right, let's check that one out. If more than one hex is closer, Move adjacent to allied unit against which moving unit has a 3-to-1 strength. I better check all this. Okay, it looks like it will be moving under movement 11. So move closer to army objectives. So that's the army objective there. And it could move into that hex just crossing the river or that hex crossing the river. Okay. So if more than one hex is closer, because either one of those is closer, move adjacent to allied unit against which moving unit has a 3-to-1 strength, including all units adjacent to the target hex, active reserve units, and yet to move active units proximate to the target. Okay, so all of these guys are still eligible to move. And if he moves into there with the eligible units, we can get a 3-to-1 attack on him because there's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So that is the legal move. And he crosses, he's combat unit number 2. Right, so checking the third unit, he can't move any further. Crossing the river takes up all his movement. Checking the third movement, he would actually move into the same hex. And then checking the fourth, right, better to have a think about this one. Only one unit can cross that river hex side per turn. However, he can move to there because there is a adjustment moving to adjacent to allied units. So he can move to there. That's as far as he goes. Then unit number 4, he stays there. I can't see anything that allows him to move any closer or further. He's already adjacent to an allied unit, so he stays there. Again, if I'm making mistakes here, guys, in the comments section, let me know. And this guy, well, he'll follow the same path and enter that hex there. Even the arrow says he will do so. Trying to get across that bridge. Right, so that's the movement section. They've all moved. Well, one of you hasn't moved, but yeah. So we now go conduct attacks with units meeting attack requirements. So there are 2 hexes that can possibly be attacked. Tricky one. Okay, so I've got to determine. I'll start with this unit here. Okay, and I'm going to see if it has to attack there. It says the target unit, but there are 2 target units that he's adjacent to, there and there. So I can't find anything that says anywhere if it's adjacent to 2 allied units, which you determine is the target. So I'll read the sequence, and if you guys know the answer to this question, because I've gone through the rules now, as I say, twice, I can't see something that says when there's 2 units that could potentially be a target. So it says check each active unit with at least 2 steps, okay, that has not yet attacked in this activation and is adjacent to an enemy occupied hex that has not already been the target of an attack check in this current activation. Neither of those 2 units have been checked. Check active units one at a time in ascending order. So O1, he's got no one to attack. O2 is the next one to check. To determine if the German unit will attack the units in the target hex. Which target hex? The unit being checked is referred to as the lead unit, so that O2 is a lead unit. When checking if the lead unit will attack, include the strengths of the following additional units, and then it goes on about other units adjacent. But it doesn't say anywhere which one of those 2 hexes is going to attack. So if anyone can help me out on that one, please do. Okay, 5 minutes later, carry on reading the whole paragraph. 9.51. Only one attack check as lead unit. If a German unit is adjacent to more than one Allied occupied hex. Boom, 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 boom. Calculate the situational strength ratio against each potential target. Conduct the attack check with the highest ratio. Right, okay. If tied, for highest ratio, check for VP hex. If none, check closest to the lead army objective hex. Woo! Got there in the end. But anyway, it could have been mentioned earlier, couldn't it be, whether target hex. But there we go. Okay, so following that sequencing, this guy by himself there could only get a 1-to-1. This guy with these can get a potential 2-to-1. So that becomes the target hex. Got there in the end, I think. Right, so now we actually need to check to see if that goes ahead. So half the total strength of all German units rounded down that will be attacking across the river. So it's one unit attacking across the river. He's worth 1. They are worth, that's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 plus 1 is 9. So potentially it's 3-to-1. However, his defense is up 1. So he's 4 because he's in a forest. Not improved, adjacent to a supplied allied unit. He is adjacent to a supplied allied unit. He is supplied. Okay. Clear terrain, no. And unsupplied. Is he supplied himself? He is. He's getting supplied through that hex and potentially that hex. Even dispersed units don't stop supply. So he's got potential defense strength of 5. Is that right? 3. Forest 4. Supplied. Right. Adjacent to supplied unit 5. I better just double check all of that. Okay, so that all seems legit. So it's actually a 1.5-to-1 attack because he's worth 5 in the defense for this situational awareness, and he's only supplying 1 across the river there. So it's 1 plus 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So 8-to-5, 1.5-to-1. Okay, so now we have to, that's not an automatic in they go gung ho. There's a table we've got to now look on. It says if 4-to-1 automatic, cancel the attack if less than 3-to-1 and the attacking units are all low supply. No. Cancel attack if less than 1-to-1. No. If higher, equal to or greater than 1-to-1 and less than 4-to-1, roll the die. Low is good to get this attack rolling. Oh. Little errors of the camera there. So yes, so low on this dice is good. We're attacking at 1.5-to-1 provisionally. That could change depending on what's written here. Okay. Now, there are modifiers. -1 because it's December 16th. -1 because attackers include elite. That's the little red dots on the amount of steps in the unit. Attackers acted by an army or army group card. No, they're activated by a core card. And supporting card shows applicable combat tactics. Supporting card does. It says press the attack. Oh, wait, no, it says press the attack. Oh, what does that mean? Combat tactics. Press the attack. Yeah, it's not just the module. It's finding everything on these cards. There's bits of information everywhere. I mean, it's there, but it's finding it. So press the attack is a combat card that would have an effect. So that is -3 to this roll. Remember, low is good. 5 becomes 2. Is the attack at less than 1.5-to-1 or defender is a non-VP town? No. So therefore, the attack is not cancelled. It goes in. All right. So now we go through the combat actual sequence. So what we do now is we go and look at the German cards. Why it does this, I don't know. There we go. Right. So we draw another German card and it says reinforced battle. Let's find out what that means. Okay. So reinforced battle combat event does apply. Select one active or inactive stack that did not move or attack in the current activation that could reach the combat in a single movement action to participate in the combat. All right, so these 2 units get there. In fact, maybe even that unit. With these infantry, one, checking it's broken your heat. So 1, 2, 3. So all three of those units could, if attacking, the unit stacks moves adjacent to the hex under attack and may split up. So it's a stack. All right. Oh, okay. There's no stacking there. When attacking, a unit is eligible to reinforce a battle if in the same army. They are the LXV1, which is the 60th, 66th Corps. Same army as at least one attacking unit or already adjacent to the defending units. But they're part of the same army, so all of those are eligible. If more than one stack can reach the combat, choose a stack that will not be attacking across a river. None attacking across the river. Then the stack that will cause an unsurrounded defender to become surrounded. Okay, so any one of those could. Then the stack with the lowest numbered unit. Okay, so if we get a unit in here, they'll become surrounded. Now, I don't think going through the woods, through the forest is 2. So he cannot reach there. That would be 1, 2, 3, 4. So he can't reach there. So he's out of the equation. This unit and this unit, he would have to go there and then there because he can't move, and he'd have to leave the zone of control. So it looks like this is the guy. All right, and he can move into that forest for 2 movement points, which he does, which then surrounds him. Interesting. I say, this is the first time this has all sort of happened to me. So that's the reinforced battle card on um, that card that's been drawn there. Okay, I'm going to put that onto the, or do I have to click it to discard it? No, just plonk it on. Okay, so that's the German um, extra card being brought into the battle. So it says draw 1 card, apply the card's combat tactic, if any, check supporting card, and apply the card's combat tactic if different and beneficial to the attack, which is press the attack, which is different and beneficial to the attack. So that will be applying as well. Next step is, it says and active German reserve to the attack. I don't think there are any active German reserves. Let's check. The Germans don't have any available reserves in this area. Okay. Play Allied combat tactics at your option. I'm not playing any Allied combat tactics. None of them. I mean, engineers might give them an improved position, but other than that, no. I'd like to keep the cards for other things, as in activating when it's actually my turn. Okay, so then it says draw combat chits. Right, so let's move this out of the way and put the combat chit display on. Where is that? There we go. Right. Now, in this combat, I'm going to put it over there. We know there are a minimum of 2 because it's got a 2-step unit and a maximum of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 units being involved. Now we've got to also work out the odds. So it's now 4, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Only one from here, and 13 against 3. So the ratio is now 4 to 1. The amount of chits drawn is a minimum of 2 because of the allied unit. Amount of steps it's got. Germans will always draw the maximum. So the maximum equals the number of attacking units with non-bracketed combat strength with the following modifications. So there are 3, 4, 5 attacking combat units. 1 chip for every attacker combat tactic. There was 2 combat tactics, so that's another 2. So we're at 7. Yeah, that's right. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah. +1 if attacking units include one or more elite. There is. That's 8. +1 for each attacking unit with 3 or 4 steps. There's 1. Yeah, there's 1 yet. So that's 9. Defender is out of supply. No. Isolated. No. And screen. No. And there's also the push. The press the attack gives them another chit. That's 10. So I'm just going to double check that. That's correct. 10 chits. Wow. Right, well, let's draw them then, one at a time. Only attacking armor. No. Flip that. Only defending armor. No. So that one doesn't apply. So that's 1. Not applying. 2. Large attack or 16th attack. It is the 16th. See if the other side applies. Allied airpower, no. So that's second chit does apply. Third chit. Attacker artillery, no. Flip. Defender artillery, no. Fourth chit. 1.5 to 1 is equal to or greater than, yes. What's the other side? No. So that one does apply. So that's the fourth chit so far. Fifth chit out of 10. Flank attack. It is a flank attack because it's coming from non-adjacent directions. And it's 1 hex attack. No. So it is a flank attack. So that's the 5th chit drawn. Dear oh dear. 6th. Greater than 9 to 1. No. Greater than 5 to 1. No. So that chit doesn't apply. That's 6 chits drawn. 4 more to go. Defender elite. Defender ain't elite. Defender green. He is green. He's white. Oh dear. Defender green. Defender elite. No. Oh dear. Oh dear, oh dear. Equal to or greater than 4 to 1. It was in the end. 4, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 to 3. Yes. No. So that's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Last chit. Large attack. Allied airpower. I'm not sure what the large attack is. So let me just double check the definition of large attack. I don't think it's relevant, but we'll find out. The definition, large attack applies to any attack in which at least 7 combat chits are drawn. Yep, so that applies. It doesn't look too good for the 106th Division, does it? 424th Regiment. Okay. Because there is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 step losses. That's not good. I think the Germans are technically the Germans have taken 1 hit, but I think they're actually going to get away with that because I'm not going to be able to fulfill all the Allied hits because, well, they can retreat into that hex, then into there. Okay, which makes them disperse, so I can clone that. So that's 2. What is that 1? Then each hit after that is a step loss, and they've got 2 steps, so they've fulfilled 1, 2, the retreat, 3, 4. That unit is gone. So send to the eliminated box and delete that. Because there is still some chits left, it says German attacker hit reduction. The number of hits incurred by the Germans in a German attack is reduced if all the Allied units defending in the combat are eliminated and Allied hits remain unfulfilled. The number of German hits reduced by the number of unfulfilled. The Germans actually take no hits in there in that attack. Oh dear, that's not looking too good, is it? Okay, so in the advance, the Germans would go in ascending numerical order. So that is the unit that moves in there first. because they don't go back across the river. Okay, so he advances it. Now they can advance 2 hexes if this hex has been vacated. They could actually advance across there. They can't go across there unless that had been the depending hex. So that's as far as they go. So that unit advances in. So the next one we check is the infantry, which is unit number 4. Does he advance in there? So the route of advance, number of advancing German units already in hex is 1. He's moving closer to the army objective. He is. Primary or secondary forward route, or across the river or closer to army objective. So 1 to 3, he'll advance into there. Must be camera. Hold on. There we go, roll a 5. So no, he doesn't. And Mr. 24, he doesn't either. So those two don't advance into that hex. They stay where they are. I think that is correct. Advance cross river. This depends on whether the river was bridged or not. Okay. Unbridged hex side. A unit may only advance across an unbridged river hex side if it attacked across that hex side or is following the path of retreat, which that means that they can't move from into there and then into there, because the path of retreat was there and there. Okay. I think that's it for that German attack. That was quite nasty. Quite nasty. That means this card's been done because it was the gave them that extra chit. And well, I think we've activated every unit in that formation. Don't think there's anything else to check for. There are, as I say, multiple cards, key rule summaries and such forth. Okay. Assignment, no replacements required. Active formation, we've finished. Discard command card. If support card in play, it's not, it's gone. And the German impulse is over. So that goes into there. So they've got 5 cards remaining. So that's probably 2 more impulses. I've got 4 cards remaining, which is possibly 2 or 3. When the German impulse is finished, that's the end of the turn. So if I haven't finished everything, no matter how many cards I haven't played, German impulse finishes, I think I get 1 more impulse and that's it. So yeah, let's go back up to the top. Lots of little nuances coming in there, especially using, I don't know if I can show these. Should it appear? The amount of cards, that's a daily sequence card. We have a, obviously, terrain effects card. We also have 2 other cards, one of which is the German system events and tactics, which also has the combat procedures, and the Allied player events and tactics. So that's 4 sheets. Then you've got the German intelligence system on this one, with the key rules summary, German system intelligence. German system intelligence, sheet 1, sheet 2, sheet 3. So it's a lot to go through, a lot to digest. However, in my mind, it might seem I'm slowing and chugging along, bomb, 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 bomb. It's starting to coalesce together. Especially, let's say, my stuff is quite straightforward. I make a decision, do it as long as it's within the rules. It's the AI side. And it was the same with the D-Day at Omaha and Tarawa. It's always working out what the AI is going to do. And I suppose that's a complicated part of it. I mean, I could have chosen a 2-player version of this game and just played both sides. That sort of defeats the object, doesn't it? I need another person to play the 2-player game, don't I? So playing this solo, and apparently the hardest way of doing it, what's happening on the board is quite straightforward in the sort of hex encounter system. It's just what the AI does. And it's creating problems for me, which is what you want. Because that one panzer unit that didn't get involved in combat is now very close to 2 victory point hexes. So I've got to think about that problem. I've lost another unit, one more unit. That's another victory point down the toilet. And then they're already halfway there. So it's squeaky bum time. Um, and by the looks of it, we're halfway through the turn-ish. So yeah, I've had my third. That was their third. So we'll probably get two more impulses in each, which I hopefully will do in the next couple of days. I hope you enjoyed that. Let me know in the comments if you did. Do the likes if you did too. Let me know if you didn't, what I missed, etc. That's what the comment section is for. Comment sections and also likes lets me know that you guys are enjoying and engaged with what I'm doing. And that's what motivates me to do more. So, and of course, if you haven't subscribed already and you do enjoy what I do, please subscribe. Again, just gets my name out there so other people can watch my dulcet tones, well, listen to my dulcet tones and watch my wonderful visage. Anyway, after that bit of self-promotion, it's over to you. Play games. Have fun. Bye, Internet.